Hello. Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. If you are watching this on YouTube, it is pre-recorded from Friday, May 29th. Yeah? Okay. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Hi, Colin. Hi, Katie. I hope everyone is having a great Friday. It is, shocker, raining here again today. It's always raining. I literally cut my grass, cut our lawn, mowed our lawn. What words? In 3 different sections because it was raining so much that I couldn't do it all in one fell swoop. But it's done, so yay. So I hope that everyone is having a fantastic Friday. Today is part 3 of my Steph's favorite cross-stitch notions, tools, whatever. And I'm going to try to get through them all today, because I have to work tomorrow, so there's no live tomorrow. Hello, Lynn in Delaware. Okay, so, C. Schrock says, question from yesterday, your stitch bench and your recliner. So my chaise lounge. So I don't know if everyone knows what a chaise lounge is. So it's, well, what is it then?
It's a glider with a bottom.
Okay, so it's not a chaise lounge, apparently. I just really like saying chaise lounge, first of all. Apparently it's a glider with an ottoman. So they don't move together, like they're not attached to each other. So there's a seat part and then there's an ottoman part. Maybe that helps. But they both have the same upholstery on them. And then I sit in the seat part, obviously. And wouldn't that be funny if I didn't sit in the seat part? That would be funny. If I sat, that would be really funny. Oh, that's funny. But then the ottoman part, there's space underneath the ottoman for me to put my feet. So I put my feet underneath there. Or sometimes I stick one out to the side. One of these numbers, you know? So yeah, I'm sorry. She said, where do you put your feet then? I can't sleep trying to figure it out. I'm so sorry that you were unable to figure it out. Yeah, you could have just sent me an Instagram message. I would have answered for. I would have sent Penny pictures if you need be. Oh yeah, no, it's not a lazy boy recliner. Yes. So I love my seat. It's fantastic. And I have tried a million different times I know that I should probably elevate my feet, or I can stick my feet underneath me, like I'm sitting in this chair right now, my feet underneath me, but I know that that's bad for circulation, and so I try to stick my feet out of some way, shape, or form. Anyway, but I've tried to, sit with my feet up, recliner style, and I just can't. I think that everything is so accessible to me in my setup, the way that I sit, that if I sit in my recliner, this is going to sound crazy, but I've found that when I stitch, leaning back like this in my recliner, that my stitches look different. And they don't look as good. So, it is what it is. So yeah. So, this is the part 3. Like I said, I'm hoping that I can get through all of them today, all of my tools and stuff today. However, there's a lot of stuff to get through, so if I don't get through it all today, then I will come on tomorrow and do a live, but it will be tomorrow evening time, because I work until 4, so that means I probably won't get home until close to 5, and then dinner, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I will obviously keep you all updated. Hi, Ruthie. Tony, do you have a footrest that slides out from under the ottoman part? No, I don't. Nope. Just put them on the floor. Yes, daily clip hangers. So, okay, so, if this is the first one in the series that you, are catching, and you haven't watched the other two, I highly recommend. And not just because I like the sound of my own voice, but the feedback that I'm getting is really great, and people are finding that they're really helpful. I had another issue with comments being turned off, and I'm so sorry about that. I have no idea why that's happening, what's going on with that. YouTube is being ridiculous. I have no idea. So, if you go and you are trying to comment and you realize it says comments are turned off, if you are able, please let me know that they're turned off. Like send me an Instagram message or Facebook message or something or anything. Send Pam an email, whatever. Anyway, that would be really nice because otherwise I don't know because I don't go check them every single day. So anyway, so I'm super sorry if you have tried to comment and you're unable. If you have a question and you can't comment for some reason, if you're letting me know that you can't comment and you have a question, then just shoot me a message. I'm pretty good about answering Instagram messages, so I'm here to answer any questions that you have. And throughout the series, one of the continuous things that I am going to fill, this is a sidekick bag from So Much to Love. It's like a little notions pouch situation. And this is what I'm calling my go bag. So, I'm putting in here, as I go through all my notions and tools, the things I take with me everywhere. So, what is in here to review are the peels and the chart clip. Those are both from day one, from part one. And then from part two is my needle minder, Kia, my needle case, and my snag nabbit. So if any of these, of course, extra needles, all that. So if any of those things you're like, what is that? What is she talking about? Go back and watch on YouTube parts 1 and part 2. Oh yeah. And also my tweezers. Forgot about those. And then I just realized this. I always bring a couple extra pieces of shelf liner, with me as well. And I know that people are going to be like, all that fits in that bag? Yes, it does. Wait and see. So we're going to jump right in and get on with part 3 of my tools. So I think I brought everything over here for demonstration purposes. So yesterday we talked needles and like all kinds of, in that kind of group of items. So these are going to be sort of a little bit more random at the end, but that's okay. Oh, can you bring me your needle slide so I can show the people? Okay. I wrote the note down, forgot to ask Pam. So I'll show that because you were asking about that. Okay. So first, let's talk highlighters. So I'm not a habitual, like 99% of the time, 100% of the time highlighter. But I will in some cases. I'm not against it. I don't never do it. But I don't always do it either. So that when I have something that is, bless you, Pam. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. So if I have something that is confetti or whatever, so for example, so my current project is Silver Creek Samplers, Dorothy's Discovery. The next big thing is finishing the basket here. And there's 2 different shades of brown that make up the basket. And that's the basket. Now, I will make a working copy of just this little section, and I will highlight, using a highlighter, the different lines as I go. Because if I don't highlight that kind of stuff, like the one I'm really thinking of is an ornament I did this year that was what is it? The Grumpy Cat ornament. The Grumpy Cat ornament, and there was like 16 different shades of grays and beiges in there. And I spend more time figuring out where my place is than I am actually putting in stitches if I didn't highlight. So, I highlight. Now, I'm not out here trying to tell you what brand of highlighter to use. However, I am super particular to these highlighters. They're the click highlighter. See, you can see how much I use it. See how it's black on the end from the ink on the patterns, or the working copies. They're nice because all you need is one hand, and it's not going to get on your stuff. This is a Sharpie brand highlighter. Sharpie. And I'm sure that they come in multiple colors. This is just the one I pulled off of my workstation. I don't necessarily bring this everywhere, but this is what I use. But I only do the highlighting on confetti heavy things. However, what I do bring with me everywhere that I use more often than I use the actual highlighter is one of these. So you can see it on my black shirt. This is like a highlighter strip. You can fully see through it. I've used this one for a while, so it's cruddy, actually. They come in, like, I get the pack with, like, 3 colors. So there's, like, green, orange, and yellow. They're highlighter strips. The static that is created on them, well, is fantastic. So, however, because of the way that I have my setup, on my ottoman, I have my pattern sitting there. So I'm sitting there stitching, and then I have to move my stitching to look down at my chart, right? So I use these for, like, big blocks of color and that kind of thing. So, for example, when I was working on this section right here, which is one of her socks. I know it's obviously all one color, but like I said, I spend more time counting the number of rows and checking and double checking, triple checking, blah, 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 making sure I'm doing cross stitch correctly, that it would just be easier if I used this to move down the rows one at a time. So I find these incredibly, incredibly invaluable. I use them all of the time. I use them on just about every project that I have ever stitched, once I found them. These products are made by Yarn Tree. You can buy them from Keepsakes or your Needle Workshop. I'm sure they are also sold on Amazon. But yes, I love these so, so much. I find that you can see through all of them, but the yellow and orange one I prefer. The green you can still see through, but it is what it is. And okay, so Kelly said she uses highlighter tape and just keep moving it. Yeah, and these are staticky enough so like I don't have to see in my stitchy spot. I don't have to worry about my pattern being upright. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about something slipping off. So the fact that it's static, so it will stick to it, but it's not like a Post-it or tape or whatever. So it works fine that it does what it does. So, yeah, those highlighters are nice. They're really nice. So, Dawn said, is it possible to watch Instagram videos live on a smart TV? Anyone doing that? I have no idea how to do that. Maybe somebody does. No, I've never used erasable highlighters. Because if I'm using a highlighter on a working copy, there wouldn't be a need for me to erase it. So yeah, no. And I've used, so Janet says that I used to use a highlighter, but now I use a pencil. And I've done that too on like a working copy, and I will like just check off the lines. So it's all about what you are interested in doing. And Pam, on the other hand, I think I've maybe seen her highlighted chart maybe once or twice. And it was on something that was like super confetti heavy. So, 16 different shades of green or whatever. So she's not a big highlighter. She doesn't use these either. So, yeah. And, yep, Post-its work great. Knit shops carry them too. Oh, good. So there you go. Yeah, they're just called highlighter strips. Yep. Yeah, there you go. So, the highlighter strip always goes in the go bag. Always. Always. Okay. And yeah, Annette, that's what I'm saying. So she said, thanks for reminding us about the highlighter strip. The writing highlighters I know would end up on my linen. Nope, not happening, lol. Yeah, that's my worst fear, is getting a giant streak of pink freaking highlighter on my project. That would not be good. Okay. All right. So, next, and I said this yesterday, and I said it Wednesday, and I will say it again. When I talk about stuff, I'm in no way, shape, or form am I trying to insult anyone's intelligence or tell you stuff you already know or give you useless information because you already know it. But I'm finding that going back to the basics, is helpful to people. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So I'm prerequisiting my next tool by saying that. Linda, am I crazy? But I have tools in each project plus the go bag in my purse. You're just really prepared. You're really prepared. So that's all there is to it. Okay, let's talk scissors. Okay. So we have quite a collection of scissors. We have 2. They're up there on the shelf. That's why I'm looking up there. Sorry, I'm reading these comments. Ruthie, that's okay. You can get any other color besides yellow. It's fine. Well, you can get orange or green. So, do you, boo-boo. Okay, so these are my favorite scissors. You can tell that they're my favorite scissors because the coloring is wearing off. Disregard the fob, because the fob did not come with the scissors. So these are, I don't know if you can tell, but they're stork scissors. However, I literally bought these at Joann's. And I bought them at Joann's in the summer of 2017. And I have not, out of all the scissors that I have, I don't want to use any other ones but these. So the coloring on them is like a bluish, purpley, pinky type swirl situation. They are, I don't like it when I can't open them. Like, we have some scissors that are just decoration because it's like a struggle to either open them or close them. So these were not that expensive. I mean, I can't even remember how expensive they were, but I know they weren't like $50 gingers or anything like that. So I have not. Oh no, I do not, Darla. Darla said, "Do you know the history of stork scissors? If not, look it up. It's interesting." Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna write it down. So these have gone with me literally everywhere. My other favorite brand, or second favorite brand, I think these were like DMC. Like, I literally think they're DMC scissors. I don't think that they're not Gingers, they're not Dovos, and no, they're just DMC scissors. And I find that they cut extremely well, and because of the point on them, they get real close to the linen, which is perfect. So, my other favorite brand, I'll take this fob off because it's ridiculous. And these, I think they're called jelly scissors. Okay. Can you hear the rain? Oh, that fob's not coming off. Okay. My other favorite brand, I think they're called like jelly scissors or something like that. Like jelly roll scissors. I'm not sure. Anyway. Are these ones. Again, super sharp. They come in, purple, green, pink and blue, I think. Cotton candy scissors, thank you. Yes, cotton candy scissors. And Honey Bow, you can watch this series again on YouTube. Yeah. They go right up to YouTube right after. So, these are a little bit different. If you can tell, the necks are a little bit different. One is a little bit longer, these are a little bit shorter. It is what it is. I like them because they're colorful, but also because of the same reason. They're not hard to open. They're not hard to close. I don't have to struggle. And they are very well made, and they're not that expensive. And each one that you get comes with its own protective sheath that, listen. Oh, I thought it clicked. It doesn't click. But it just goes right on. And pro tip, always have a sheath or some sort of covering on your scissors, whenever you pack them, wherever you're packing. Yes, these are great for traveling, because TSA is 4 inches or less. So I put these with a sheath in my bag when I traveled to Europe last year, because if we go to a retreat in the States, we usually drive. But when we flew to Europe last year, I obviously had to bring cross-stitch on the plane. And so I took these because I knew that I could replace them if TSA wanted to be ridiculous and take them from me. But I had a sheath on them. Now, okay, so these, your needle workshop, can get them for you, the cotton candy scissors. They don't sell them at, like, any big box stores, or that I've found. And, yeah, so here's the thing about traveling, is that the blade just needs to be 4 inches or less. That's the TSA requirement from the research that I've done. I can tell you that I flew from Cincinnati to Chicago to Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam to Toronto to Cincinnati with these scissors with a sheath, and no one took them from me. And I had this pair in my check bag, but that doesn't matter. So I didn't have any trouble, but every TSA person is different, and they might be having a bad day taking them from you. So I don't want anyone come at me and be like, Steph said they wouldn't take them away, and they took them away. So, yeah, so let's talk about Dobos and Gingers just really quickly. So I know we're not scissor collectors. It's just like, we collect cross-stitch charts, we collect fabric, we collect needle minders, we collect whips, but we do not collect scissors. We're not scissor people. And so getting fancy scissors is just not something that either of us are interested in. We'd rather spend the money on other stuff, which is fine. If you're a scissor person, get it, girl. Get it, boy. Whoever you are. Enjoy it. Do you. It's just not my thing. If I can get a pair of scissors like this for less than $20, and it's, like, I think one of the best pair of scissors, I am not going to spend the money that Dobos and Gingers are. I'm just not. And that's my own personal preference, but you do you. And yes, Ashlyn, you are getting a pair of surprise scissors. And I don't have any problem with the finger holes on either pair of these. No. I mean, they're all pretty standard size, so, yeah, no. And yes, Linda, I have the foldable ones that you can travel or slide in, like, they fold and they slide inside themselves, but I don't like how they cut, so I don't use them. Yes. Okay. So I'm reading these. Yeah, so, like, I would not take your Gingers on a plane on your carry-on if you are worried about them taking them. I would take a pair of less expensive scissors. And so I have multiple pairs of scissors, but these are the scissors that I go with everywhere. So I don't have multiple. I probably have enough scissors that I could have one in every project, but I think that's a little excessive for me. So I just have the one because I just have the one go bag. So, yes. So that's just how I feel. So these ones do not have a sheath that came with them. So of course it's red polka dot. And fits right on them. It's like that. So you can buy the sheaths just by themselves, or you can get a pair like these that come with the sheath with them. My cat is staring at me. I know, Mosey. I know. It's scary because of boom booms. That's what we call the thunder. Boom booms. As if she knows what I'm saying. She's a cat. Hi, Mama. Okay. So, scissors, sheath, I think are all necessary. Let's talk fobs for a minute. When I first started stitching, you know, and Pam and I would talk and all the things, she was never scissor fob person, and neither was I, therefore. I was just like, I don't really understand them. However, I have been converted. Those little jelly type scissors. Okay, so Tony says, excuse me, those little jelly type scissors with an attached sheath are great for travel and for multiple to-go bags since they are inexpensive and small. Keepsake sells them. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I have a pair up there. But the sheath is actually attached. And yes, Kay, knitting needle caps go on the end of scissors. Absolutely. They literally are sold as knitting needle like caps, and they fit perfectly on the end of a sizzle. So, okay, so I am partial to, for me and how I stitch and whatever, I prefer a fob that is shorter. So, this is a fob. It has an S on it for Steph. It was handmade for me. It's absolutely stunning. I hope that you guys can see how pretty it is. And so all the weight is at the end here. And this is the fob that I have on these pretty scissors. I do like my scissors and my fobs to match. And I just think that this goes well with it. So, why I like a fob now is that people are like, oh, it gets in the way. So I put my middle finger in the bottom hole that's attached to the fob, and then my thumb in the other hole, and then I grab the fob with my hand. I feel like now if I pick up a pair of scissors that doesn't have a fob on it like this, that I'm going to throw it across the room because it's like I'm used to having this weighted. So I like the fobs now. I've gotten a lot of fobs in the past. I keep on my pair of green scissors, I keep some of my most meaningful fobs. They're all kind of together on one lobster claw. Yes. So I wondered if they are decoration and not exactly necessary. Fobs are 100% not necessary. They're not necessary. I said on Monday that there are four or five things that you absolutely 100% need to cross stitch. Fabric, thread, needle, scissors, chart. Those are all the things that you need. Without one of those things, you cannot cross stitch. And I would argue that you don't necessarily need a pattern. So let's say those four things. To make X's on fabric, you need those four things. So, everything else I'm talking about is not necessary. So, take that as you will. So, Word Nerd Creates, I like your handle. Fobs are great for retreat, so you can identify your scissors from someone who picks up your scissors by mistake. They also help me identify my good scissors from my paper scissors in my sewing room. Great tip. So, I have, this is absurd and long, but like I have my, this is, wow, I can't really see it. So there's a little, can you tell that's, yep, a train for the Whistle Stop crew. Lisa made it for us. Those are handcuff charms that I got from my friend Vicky in Florida that she made for me when I got off of probation. And this fob is from Stitch Away, my first Stitch Away. So, and then I have on this one, this was stitched for us, and was given to us when we went to the Netherlands. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. So, it's all personal preference. However, this is my personal preference, is the short, heavier weighted one. I don't want to be sitting there like fighting with this really long thing, but I like keeping all of my most favorite ones together. And then I have all my StitchCon fobs on another pair of scissors that's a decoration. So, okay. I did not know that, Natasha. Okay, so Natasha says, fobs actually have a functional purpose. They are heavier than the scissors, so if you drop your scissors, the fob hits the floor first, therefore protecting the point. It's amazing. I lost my snag net. That's amazing. Okay, but here's my question for you. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So on this, my scissors are heavier than this. I'm 100% there with you on this for sure. For sure. And for sure. But this, not so much. But I see the point. I get it. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. And yeah, you can use fobs and zipper pulls interchangeably. I mean, from what I've seen. Yeah. Is it Morel? I think that's how I say it. You said I lost my snag nabbit the other day. I'm lost without it. Is there something I can use in its place till I get an order in? Another reason to have multiples. No, unfortunately. I mean, one thing that you could try doing if you have like a stray thread is just like taking a threaded needle and running it through the holes. Like it's not attached to the fabric yet, and just going through the holes. That may work, but you're not going to find anything with that sort of like serrated edge almost. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that you lost. I hate when I lose it. My snag nabbit, I mean. Okay. Okay, so Natasha said, okay, so that one is decorative, but historically, got it. That's really, really cool. I love that piece of information. I see the point, no pun intended. Okay, so that covers scissors, scissor fobs, and scissor sheaths. So, what goes in my go bag would be one pair of scissors with a sheath. If you do not have a notions bag, get a sheath. For sure, please. Please. Because this is very sharp. And I would hate for this to be in the same bag with this. Ooh. That would not be bad. That would not be good. I mean, so, I will admit there are times when I just put my scissors like this in my go bag. But every time I do that, I am always poking myself. So, don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Okay. Alright, so let's talk about this needle slide over here so I can get it back to Pam. Okay. So, yesterday when we talked about needles, someone mentioned, and I showed my needle case, someone mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't remember who, a needle slide, and somebody asked me what a needle slide was, and basically I did a really crappy job of explaining that, it's one of those tins with the sliding lids. So, Pam bought this at Joann's, think she actually bought it at Hobby Lobby. So it's got little, like, sewing notion things on it. Yep, it was Linda. I was going to say it was you, but I wasn't sure. So, and as you can see, it's got these ridged edges, and then a thin, so it just slides off. Pam's got a bunch of bags of needles in there. Like that. It does fully slide all the way off, and then you can flip it like that. So, and then it will, you'll be able to feel when it, like, goes back in, and then you do have to kind of, like, push down a little bit to get it to come off. So, there you go. This is a nail case. They come in different, like, patterns and things. So, this comes with Pam everywhere, too. I know that. Yeah, so there you go. Okay. Alright, so let's talk about threads for a little bit. I am not going to get this done today, so you guys get me tomorrow after work, like you. Okay, so let's talk about threads real quick. Now, yeah, and it said, I never knew the top fit under the bottom tint. There you go. Okay. Now, and this is for a working project. So I'm not going to get into, like, thread storage and how we store our stash of threads and all that. I'm just talking about threads per project. So that's what I'm going to show you now. Let me get all my things so you can see them. Okay. Now, I want to prerequisite this with saying that DMC is a little bit different because we do not bobinate in this house. And so if I'm working on a project like this, which has, all different kinds. It has overdyes and DMC in it. The overdyes went on a ring. The rest did not. So let's talk about that first. So I am a huge fan, 100%. And so I'm talking about the tools that go with threads. And so when it comes to tools and threads, for every project, I always have my threads on a ring. Always. Typically, I like the smaller ring. This is an inch ring. It's actually an 1.5 inch ring. And these are the clasp rings. So, you push it out and it comes up like this. Okay. I'm a huge fan of these. I find that it just, like, makes my soul happy and makes my world happy to have all of my threads on a ring like this. So I find these invaluable. Pam doesn't really use rings. I mean, like, sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. I'm all the time need these. This is what works for me. I love them. They come in a ton of different sizes. And, like, you can get them, like, 4-inch or 3-inch or something crazy. So yeah. I find these literally invaluable. There's another style of thread rings that, is out there in the world. Which are these kind of rings. So, these are obviously much more pliable, and there is So you go like this, and then you twist until it's tight. And then you have a thread ring. These are great. They work wonderfully. If, at least in my experience, when I have placed thread orders from Threads Entwined, which is a needlework shop in Northern California, a great online shop that we are big fans of. Whenever I order floss from her, they always come on these rings. My only critique of these is that they're just not sturdy enough for me. And what I mean by that is, so I am in the process, both Pam and I are, in the process of kitting things up for October when we can have new starts again, right? So I'm ordering threads. I'm trying to spread the love to other shops, whatever. No, I do. No, I do not put my DMC on a ring. No. It just goes loose in the bag, unless I have a ton of it, and then I will put it in. What are those called? Floss away bags, and then put those on a ring. But if it's not, usually not, typically no. So what I mean by sturdy enough is if you don't hold this exactly the right way and you start putting threads on it, it will go like this, or it will go like that, and they will all fall off. And then you're mad. Or at least I was mad. So you literally have to, you have to hold this end and hold this. So, you have to. Or else it goes like that. Sad. Janet, do I know a place online that I can buy DMC floss for less than 56 cents? No, I do not. Sorry. So, the other day, I was working on putting my threads on here on a ring for Consider the Lilies. Do you know how many threads are in there? A metric crap ton. Do you know how frustrating it is to put 20 threads on here and then have it go like this? And then have them all over the floor because I am ridiculous. And all my threads are alphabetically organized on here. So I need my threads to be in alphabetical order on my ring so I can find them easily. So, these are lovely. I'm not saying they're the worst. They're a good alternative if you don't have these, whatever. But I just love these. I really love these. So, now, when it comes to tools, so this is just my own personal process for... Hello, Muffin. Do you want to say hi? Look at me. Say hi to peoples. Say hi to peoples. Look. Easy, good girl. Bye. Okay. So, alright, so these are in alphabetical order. So that's my number one weird thing I do. But I don't think it's that weird. I think it makes sense, actually. And this is a tip that I learned originally from Jen Grimes. She is Spooneroonie Stitcher here on Instagram. I think she told me that she heard it from somebody else. I just give Jen all the credit. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves because our floss storage, our stash of it, is on big 3 or 4 inch rings. There's very few things that are more annoying than, because what we used to do, don't worry, I'll get to the point here soon. What we used to do is the extra threads, like the used thread that, the extra plies or whatever, we put up here at the top hole. And then you flip them around a ring a couple times, and then it would get caught up in the ring, or it would just like get tangled with other threads and blah, 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 blah. Super annoying. Well, then Jen Grimes told me about this trick, and my world blew up. So I would consider, without question, a single hole punch one of my favorite cross-stitch tools. There's literally, to me, it's like I love kitting things up. I love it. Like, it's weird how much I like it. And I literally enjoy punching the holes in them. And I'm like, oh, it's so great. And then you put it on the ring. And then they all hang down like that. Now, I prefer it to be on the left side, but with Weeks Dye Works threads, you have to put it on the other side, or else it covers up, or else you're punching a hole in the name of the thread. So, it really doesn't matter. It actually makes it a little bit, like, even, but it's fantastic. It's just, I love it. It's a really, really great tip. Thank you, Jen. And so I will go and I will sit at my kitchen table with my threads for Consider the Lilies at some point. I can't wait to do it for Consider the Lilies. It's going to be so much fun. And I will hole punch them all. When I gifted for Mother's Day, I gave Pam all the threads for a Praiseworthy Citrus piece, and I had so much fun poking all the holes in them. So, I know it sounds banana pants to say that a single hole punch is a great cross-stitch tool. However, I love it. I love it so much. No, I do not bring my hole punch with me everywhere. But always, and my ring of floss goes in my project bag. So, that is what I do there. Yeah. So, those are my tools in regards to thread. Okay. So yeah. So there's that. And one last thread-related thing before we go, that I find to be incredibly necessary is an ort container. An ort is an old ragged thread, whatever. It's just the little ends of threads that you, like, clip off at the end of your project. Like, when you're done with the thread and you clip out, that's what an ort is. Things like this. Little ends of threads. Now, we, in our house, we keep all of our orts, and then around Christmas time, we get the plastic clear ornaments from Michael's, whatever, and we fill 2 of those ornaments with all of our orts for the year. We write the year on them and our names and hang them on the Christmas tree. So, we love that. It's just a tradition that we have in this house. It's a tangible way to see how much we've stitched, and it's just really, yes, we see all the stitching on our walls and all of that, but it's a lot of work that goes into it. So it's really cool to see that. So that's why it's important to us to have containers. Plus, it's just nice to keep your space clean as opposed to having a pile of threads. So there are obviously a ton of different ways that you can hold on to your threads. If you're somebody who doesn't care, then you can just throw them in the trash. Do you, boo. But I have two things so Pam and I both use both of these. So this is Pam's Ort container. It is huge and full of orts. Okay, so Aggie Rachel says, love the tangible ornament. I have a mason jar already for this year. I'm going to need a big house ornament. However, you don't need as many or as big of an ornament as you think. You would be so shocked to see how condensed you can get it. It's amazing. So this, it's going to cut me off here soon. And also I use these. These are high quality scrapbook paper made into foldable little Ort containers. Trash bags, if you will. These are made by Linda Jo, Pretty Southern. You can buy them in packs of 4 in her Etsy shop. And she makes them in all kinds of different prints and paper. I have quite a collection. And so I don't have enough to have one with every project, but I change them out seasonally. So, like, I have this patriotic one that will sit out. Pam has quite a few as well. Linda Jo's gifted us some, all the things. And so you can buy these. They're $10 for a pack of 4 in our Etsy shop. So, and someone gifted this to Pam, so I don't know. But you can find any sort of receptacle. So, wherever I go, whether it is to keepsakes or whatever, I always have a trash bag, and when you fold it down, and yes, you can still have orts inside of here, and fold it down. So, for demonstration purposes, how many times have I said demonstration purposes today? 6, 8. So, empty trash bag. Orts in the trash bag. Still foldable. And you just have to bring the lip up over it. Fits in my go bag. It's perfect. And Pam just empties hers out before we go places, and then we have a big receptacle for all of our orts. So usually when I switch projects, I will empty my trash bag out, so then that clump of orts goes in the jar together. Yeah, so, okay, it's going to cut me off here in like a minute. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I will come on tomorrow and finish up, because the last few things I think that you guys are going to enjoy. So come with your questions tomorrow if you have them. I will post this on YouTube if you missed anything. And yeah, please remember that these are just my opinions and what I think works for me. I'm sure there are other ways to use these notions, other notions out there that I don't use. But this is just what works for me. So yeah. So I will keep you guys updated tomorrow as to what time my live will be. But I have to get up early tomorrow, so that'll be a fun time. So there you go. I hope that you guys have a great Friday. Happy weekend to you. And happy stitching. I'm making really good progress on my Dorothy, so I'm very excited about that. All right. I love you guys so much. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Bye.